once again, mortgage lenders Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac racking up tens of millions of dollars in attorney's fees to defend several former executives charged with fraud.
The bad news, this comes after taxpayers have already spent $183 billion bailing out those mortgage giants. Back to Gretchen.
So is there any recourse? Joining us is Fox News senior judicial analyst Judge Andrew Napolitano. All right, so a lot of people are going to be upset with this, but...
I know. People are going to be upset, and they have a right to be upset. I mean, the federal government has created a mess, by getting into the housing business. In 1938, which was when Fannie was started, and 1970 under Richard Nixon, which was when Freddie was started, and then entering into agreements with the officers of these corporations, which once were wholly owned by the government, then were traded on the public stock exchanges, then are back wholly owned by the government, entering into agreements that we will indemnify you, we will pay your legal defenses, and we will pay any judgment against you. That's over $100 million so far, and there's no budget there. That money will just keep flowing to the lawyers representing these guys.
So why do you, why the taxpayers the only option to bail out? Is that why everyone feels helpless about this?
There was a time when the taxpayers guaranteed Fannie and Freddie. So if Fannie and Freddie was making money, then no money came from the taxpayers. But Fannie and Freddie just lost $183 billion with a B. So the government's attitude is, what's another $100 million? The taxpayers are suffering terribly. They're on the hook. There's no way out of this. There's nothing Congress can do about it. Congress should not have gotten in the business of housing in the first place, and the Constitution doesn't authorize it.
So is it true that you believe that they should have tried to settle to save some of this taxpayer money?
I do. You see, you can't sue Fannie and Freddie directly because the Congress has enacted legislation that makes them immune from litigation. So you sue their officers for the judgments that they made, and the government ends up defending the officers. It's almost the same thing as if they sued Fannie and Freddie. But when you have legal bills of this magnitude, in a case you were certainly likely to lose, and the tide of public opinion against you, and the economy not going the right way, settle the case. Get it over with.
But they're not going to do that.
No, they're not going to do this, and the lawyers will get rich. I'm not critical of the lawyers. Lawyers were killed to have this case. They're doing a good job representing these guys, but the cases, and there are many of them, are enormous. Right. They could last another 25 years.
And they're still giving out loans, though.
Yes, they are still giving out loans, Brian. Imagine that. An entity that's bankrupt $183 billion is still lending money to people who will never pay it back. That's what happens.
Thanks for that positive note,
That's what happens when the federal government gets into a business, housing, that the Constitution doesn't authorize it to get into.
Right. How dare you criticize Richard Nixon?
Have a good weekend,
Sorry,
Judge.
Mr. President.
All right.